listening to the Outer Banks This Week podcast, a place for people to hear what's going on up and down the beach and get the truth about what really goes on around the Outer Banks. So, here we go.
Thank you so much, Lexi. Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode 26.6, and it's all brought to you by Outer Banks Pest Control, right there on Highway 64 coming into Manio. Outer Banks Pest Control, the best in the business when it comes to eradicating those unwanted pests in your life. I'm not talking about your kids. I'm not talking about your husbands. I'm not talking about your wives or your in-laws. I'm talking about those creepy crawlies, those varmints, those critters that are plaguing, whether it be your home, your office, your workspace, whatever the case may be. Outer Banks Pest Control is ready to handle them for you. And I know I've said this multiple times, but Miss Jessie that works at the office, she's like the general manager. She is one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet in your life. But when it comes to those creepy crawlies and varmints, she is super tough on them. You can check them out online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com. And if you call up there and you talk to a girl named Mandy, she's an acquired taste. No, everybody at Outer Banks Pest Control, super fun and again, super professional and are ready to handle business for you. Again, online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com. And of course, power in this vehicle is the powerhouse known as Kelly Automotive right down the street in Manio. Again, these two businesses are less than a quarter mile from each other. Okay, give or take a few feet. All right. And what's beautiful also is the fact that Jesse is married to Kelly at Kelly Automotive. They're husband and wife. Beautiful things going on there. And again, love them so much. And as I said, I mean, he's online at kellysobxauto.com. They got cars, trucks, SUVs, greenhouses, sheds. They've got a full service auto shop in the back. So you buy your vehicle, you get it serviced there, whatever the case may be. They are happy to put you in a vehicle that you need. And if they can't find it, or if they don't have it, they can find it. There we go. Not that they can't find it. They will find it. So again, online at kellysobxauto.com. I'll tell you, here we are. We're on the other side of Valentine's Day. I hope everyone celebrated with their loved ones. And, oh, will you be my Valentine? Oh, yes, I'll be your Valentine. All that fun, happy crap. All right. Good. I'm hoping that it was a great Valentine's weekend for y'all. I'm really wanting some warmer weather to show up. Now, here it is, the day of this podcast. It's not super warm, but we are going to have a little bump in the temperatures around here for a few days. But then it's going to plane back out into the, like when I say bump in the temperatures, we're talking upper 50s, lower 60s, in that range, okay? Depending on where you're at, though, like if you go inland towards like Columbia, Plymouth, out that way, it's like in the 70s likely, or upper 60s, lower 70s. But here on the Outer Banks where we got that ocean breeze, not quite as warm. But you know what? I'm going to take it for right now. I feel like it's a little bit of a tease because I believe the temperatures are going to fall back into the 40s, 30s at night, 40s during the day type thing. But again, 'tis the season. We're in the depths of winter. And it's just the way it is. Spring is right around the corner. I think that the groundhog is full of it and that spring will be here before we know it. And I'm going to be honest, I really sit back and I think about these things. And I used to really love the winters on the Outer Banks. I still like them, but they're not my favorite. I just think about how much activities and how many different things there are to do in the spring, summer, and fall time of the year on the Outer Banks. And I mean, not saying that there's not stuff to do in the wintertime, because there are. And I'm going to get into some of that in a few minutes. But it's just, you think about when it's warmer, people are moving around, everybody's happier. It's just how it works. Cold, dark. Who likes cold? I mean, when you hear somebody talking about like a horror story, they always start, it was a cold, dark, stormy night. Does that sound like the beginning of a happy story? It does not. When it's cold out and it gets darker sooner and everything like that, I know that we're getting closer to the spring equinox or the spring solstice or whatever it's called, but things are going to start looking up. They were going one way. Now they're going the other way. But again, that's not how I want the Outer Banks story to start. I want it to always start. It was a beautiful, sunshiny day on the Outer Banks. I wish it was like that all the time. Doesn't always happen that way. But anyway, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Again, things are, starting to get a little livelier as we get closer to March. And March can be an interesting time here on the Outer Banks. And I'll talk about that again in future episodes. But There's March seems to be like a transition time weather-wise, where we get to some nor'easters that tend to cause a lot of ocean overwash. I remember Highway 12 down around the S-turns, if you're familiar with that area of Highway 12. Well, it didn't matter. I mean, the wind could shift out of the northeast and blow for about 4 or 5 hours, and that road would go underwater. It would wash out. Bottom line, storms took it out all the time. But again, March is a time of the year when we start to see a little bit more activity in that regard. And, you know, it's like Mother Nature's trying to figure out the shift from winter to spring. So, but we'll talk about more of that and you know, Ash Wednesday storm, talk about the March storm of 93. I remember that like it was yesterday. All sorts of things that go on around this time of the year, but there's still fun activities to take place nonetheless. And I'll talk more about them in just a few moments. Not a whole lot news-wise is jumping off the page at me. There's lots of different things that are going on in the news. I mean, you know, your typical things that go on, you know, in the political world and in government and just different things going on around the Outer Banks. You got a couple different news sources there that you can cite. That's not what we do with the Outer Banks This Week podcast. That's not. What we do is we try to highlight people, places, events, and things to do. Okay. And that's kind of where I'm at. Coming up, speaking of people and things and events, standalone podcast coming out probably a day after this one comes out. We're going to be talking to Miss Sandy Pace and those from the Special Olympics of Dare County. Okay, they're having their polar plunge coming up on February 28th, and it's going to be at like 9 a.m. at Jeanette's Pier. You pledge your money, you jump in the ocean. It's all to raise money for the Dare County Special Olympics. And again, they're going to be in here to talk about that in the near future. And with that being said, that's going to be its own standalone that'll come out likely after this one hits all of your different podcast platforms. So make sure you pay attention for that one, because that's something that I'm likely going to be participating in. I've got my oldest son, Austin. He wants to do it. And it's all for a great cause, all for a wonderful cause. So that'll be coming out in the near future. Oh, gosh. What are we going to talk about, though, right now? I was honestly looking over some of the different events and different things that are going on. And again, we're not shy of activities. Even though it is wintertime, there are still things to do. I do want to shout out right now before I jump into this to Jack Brown's Beer and Burger Joint right there on the beach road in Killable Hills. Took the boys and my wife over there for dinner on Monday night, and they did like a locals night thing. Went for locals night, and lo and behold, I'd forgotten. I'd seen it, but I'd forgotten about it until I got there. They do trivia there on Monday nights, and the trivia is a lot of fun. Miss Amy, she runs a great trivia game, and it was Terminator trivia, and we lost miserably. Okay, I can tell you about Terminator 2. I can't tell you about the first one a whole lot, and I can't tell you about any of the more recent Terminators in these. But Terminator 2 Judgment Day, we did pretty good on. But it was just, even though we lost miserably, it was still a lot of fun. And like my wife and I are like staring across the table at each other when she would come and ask the question, and we were like, oh gosh, I know this. And like we would kind of go back and forth. And of course, my boys were looking at us like, what is Terminator? Who's that? So... But I want to shout out to them. That's on Monday nights at Jack Brown's Beer and Burger Joint right there. Milepost 8.5-ish on the beach road in Killable Hills. Great place, great food, great fun. And the owner, Mr. Jordan, super nice guy. I need to go back over and pay him a visit sometime, see what he's been up to. But let's take a look and see what's crack-a-lacking coming up this weekend, the 20th, 21st, 22nd of February. Oh, man, Jeremy Russell's going to be jamming out at, looks like Buffalo City Distillery again. But there's also different things going on. Yeah, that's going to start at 6. Let me back up a little bit. I'm trying to get ahead of myself. Jeremy Russell, 6 o'clock, 6 to 9 at Buffalo City Distillery. Also, some other things that are happening on Friday night. Let's see. Kim Coleman's going to be playing at the Froggy Dog down in Avon. We've got the Red Line Band at the Jolly Roger, and DJ Jesse going to be coming on. That's starting at 8 o'clock is when the Red Line Band's going to come on, and DJ Jesse's coming on at 11. Looking into Saturday, there's actually going to be a big beach cleanup put on by the Surfrider Foundation in Killable Hills from 9:30 until 1, so you can go help clean up the beach. It's unfortunate that people just leave trash laying all over the place, but it's the world we live in. It's an unfortunate side effect, but that's just the way it works. But you can help be part of the cause that makes it look pretty again. So that, again, Beach cleanup, Surfrider Foundation in Kill Devil Hills from 9:30 until 1. Oh, there's going to be a couple of music bingo games going on. I know my buddy Greg Smerdell is going to be at Lost Colony Tavern in downtown Manio starting at 6 doing music bingo. Singo is going to be taking place down at Wanchese Marina starting at 6 o'clock the exact same time. Trivia nights. Let's see. Trivia with Jody down at the Jolly Roger in Kill Devil Hills. Looking ahead into Sunday. Lots of things. Let's see. We have the Sunday pool tournament at the Jolly Roger and karaoke to follow. There's going to be the Jam at Sanctuary Vineyards. What is that exactly? The Jam. The Jam is back. Our version of open mic. Bring yourself and your instrument and plug in with our Jam MC, Adam Nixon. It doesn't cost a thing, and that's from 2 to 5 on Sunday afternoon at Sanctuary Vineyards in Jarvisburg. Oh, going on down open mic night at McGrath's Burger Shack Monday, February 23rd. And they got a really cool event coming up that following weekend I'll talk about in just a few minutes. Then, of course, trivia night at Jack Brown's Beer and Burger Joint that same night. Again, you just heard me talking about that. And there's also trivia going on at Red Drum Grill and Tap House in Nags Head. So there's some different things going on there on a Monday night if you're looking for something to do. There's the After Hours Book Club that's taking place Tuesday, February 24th from 6 to 8 at Buffalo City Distillery. You got music bingo with your boy, Matty P. Oh, yeah. Let me see here. Yes. Music bingo. I need to get Matty P back in here with me. I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. Matty P needs to make an appearance. You know, he's going to be doing our After Dark segment again coming up this summer, but he needs to make an appearance. So we're going to talk to him a little bit more about that. Again, Wednesday nights, something that always happens on Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock. Trivia night with me at McGrath's Burger Shack. All right, right there in Nags Head. Listen, anytime I'm part of the hosting crowd, man, we're going to have ourselves a blast. And I love hosting trivia at McGrath's Burger Shack. Again, 6 o'clock sharp in Nags Head at McGrath's Burger Shack. Let's see here. There's also trivia going on if you're closer to the Buffalo City Distillery. You can go check that out in Point Harbor, also starting at 6. Oh, gosh, but then there's also a trivia night, and I don't see it on this calendar. I need to get it on there. Another trivia night that I'm going to be hosting down at Oceana's Bistro in Avon, starting at 6 o'clock on Thursday, February the 26th. So there's something that you're definitely going to want to go and be a part of as well. If you're down on Hatteras Island, you're down in Avon, or even if you're in Buxton, Frisco, wherever, come on up there and hang out with me. You know we're going to make it a fun time. Looking on into the weekend of, let's see here. Oh, my gosh. Friday, February 27th, that's a big weekend. Let's see here. There's going to be live music going on in the backyard at the Outer Banks Brewing Station. You've got the Spaghetti and here we go. Something going on at Jolly Rogers. Spaghetti and No Balls fundraiser. It's a spaghetti dinner. It's $25. And it's to give back to the SPCA in the Outer Banks. So it's a fundraiser. Yeah, it's going to be from 5 until 8. It's $25 a plate at the Jolly Roger in Kill Devil Hills. It's the Spaghetti and No Balls fundraiser. Ha, 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 hardy, hardy, har. There's also going to be some things going on, like Doc Perkins is going to be playing at Buffalo City Distillery on Friday, February 27th from 6 until 9. Let's see. What else is going on? Oh, country line dancing. Woo, little boot scooting boogie. What do we got going on here? Country line dancing. OBX Let's Dance brings all the country vibes. Learn the moves, dress up like cowboy, and eat burgers and dance. It doesn't cost a thing. All ages are welcome from 7 to 9:30 at Jack Brown's Beer and Burger Joint. And that is on, what is that? What did I say? Friday, February the 27th. So that's definitely something that you may want to pay. Definitely something you're going to want to go and participate in. I may even go do me a little boot scooting. Who knows? I mean, I'm a country music fan. We'll see. So here we go. February 28th. We got a chili cook-off that's going on at Buffalo City Distillery starting at 1 o'clock that afternoon. It seems like the chili cook-off weekend now. Keep in mind, the Buffalo City one is a reschedule from when we had like the big snow and everything shut down for a few days. So that's a reschedule from that day. There's one the next day that I'm going to talk more about here in just a few moments. But yeah, you got the chili cook-off, the Buffalo City Distillery, starting at 1 o'clock Saturday, February 28th. Let's take a look at some more details here. It is $15 to buy the ticket. Reservations are required for this. If you're interested in participating in the chili cook-off, you must be registered to do so. But again, tickets are required for this event. Your ticket is $15. This ensures a spot to taste and judge the contest. It does not include a cocktail. So if you want something to drink over there, that $15 does not include a cocktail. And you can go check out their interface on Outer Banks this week for more details. And you can go to buffalocity.com, buffalocitydistillery.com for more details as well. Looking on down the line, Old Trick Fly is going to be playing Saturday, February 28th, starting at 8:30 at the Jolly Roger, and they're a good time, and Cowboy Joe's going to be there as well. So here's the chili cook-off that I'm actually going to be helping host. This is the one at McGrath's Burger Shack, all to benefit the Dare Education Foundation, okay? Sunday, March 1st, starting at 1 o'clock. It's $20. There's going to be raffles, live music. You can vote for your best chili. Hosted by McGrath's Burger Shack to support funding education initiatives for Dare County teachers and students. Again, the Dare Education Foundation is going to be a big part of this, and they're going to benefit richly. Looking so forward to this. I always enjoy doing things with Chris and Ashley McGrath, first-class people, pouring right back into the community the best way they can. And I'm telling you, you will not regret coming and being a part of this. And I believe, what did they say? Phil Watson is actually going to be playing. Yeah, the live music by Phil Watson. Enjoy great tunes while you taste some of the best chili around. If you're interested in bringing a batch of your signature chili to this event, send a message to their Facebook page to enter, and they'll accept entries all the way up until the 22nd. So here in just a few days. There is no entry fee. You just have to prepare the chili. Again, $20 is what it costs to enter and be a taster and a judge. Oh, okay. So that's taking us right into the month of March. You can continue to look at the entire list of things that are going on here on the Outer Banks by going online to outerbanksthisweek.com. You click on the events tab and you can scroll by daytime events, nighttime events, community events, annual events. Taste of the Beach is coming up. Let's talk about that real quick. Taste of the Beach. Taste of the Beach weekend is coming up the weekend of March the 8th. The week of March. Yeah. So Friday. Excuse me, not week of March 8th. Friday, March 13th. So it is the week of March 8th, but Friday, March 13th, everything kind of kicks off. It looks like Simply Southern Kitchen is participating. You've got Lost Colony Tavern. It's also St. Patrick's Day weekend. Ooh, I didn't think about all that. You got a St. Patrick's Day parade, but there's also things going on with like Red Drum Tap House. You've got things going on at Dirty Dick's Crab House, 1903 Bar and Kitchen. There's going to be a supper club in Rodanthe. What is this? Why have I not heard of this? Chiringuito. Am I saying that right? Chiringuito supper club at Goodwin's Restaurant. There we go. So that's going to be taking place down. It looks like you get your tickets at Goodwin's Restaurant on 24502 NC 12 Rodanthe. Why do I not know about this? Huh. Interesting. So you got that. You got Hurricane Moe's. You got Jolly Roger. Lone Cedar. Bass Knight's Lone Cedar is participating. They'll be reopening around that same time. And so many different things. So if you go to outerbanksthisweek.com, you look on the sidebar. Okay, if you're looking at it from a desktop, you can look on the sidebar and you'll see where it says annual events, and it'll be like a little subtag there that says Taste of the Beach. You can click on that, and that'll also pop up on your browser if you're looking at it from your phone. You click on the three little lines, and it'll give you a drop-down menu of all the different latest posts, blogs, Captain Marty, whatever, and then you can see events, and then you can find Best of the Beach from right there as well. But we've got the list of the events in their entirety and all the fun that's taking place for Best of the Beach weekend. So it does look like it's going to be a great weekend to be out partying. So go ahead and mark your calendars for the weekend of the Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th? There's another Friday the 13th? What? Hold on. We just had Friday the 13th. There's another one in March? So we got a Friday the 13th of February and a Friday the 13th in March. I'm sorry to be going off on this little, chasing this particular squirrel, but it just seemed rather odd. I don't know that that's ever happened like that before. If it has, I don't remember. But again, Friday the 13th, Saturday, March 14th, and it looks like March 15th, the Taste of the Beach weekend. will be taking place. So go ahead and 13th, 14th, and 15th, mark your calendars for that and come and participate. And more details can be found, again, online at outerbanksthisweek.com. All right, that's pretty much going to do it for me for this episode of the podcast. Again, be listening. Coming out in the very near future, I've got a podcast about the Special Olympics and how you can participate in the polar plunge coming up on Saturday, February 28th at Jeanette's Pier. I have Miss Sandy Pace, and I'm sure she'll have somebody else in tow with her to talk about this. So, and there's going to be a lot of great information, and it's all for a great cause. So be listening for that when it comes out. But the Outer Banks This Week podcast 26.6. All brought to you by Outer Banks Pest Control and online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com, and all powered by the powerhouse known as Kelly Automotive in Manio and online at kellysobxauto.com. All right, I'm out of here. Have yourself a great and wonderful rest of the week. Be listening for that upcoming special edition of the podcast with the Dare County Special Olympics. And I will see y'all again very soon, likely next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.
This has been another epic edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. Follow us on social media and be sure to listen every Thursday for a new episode.